And sometimes I add out edited the beginning.
No worries.
I do a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because I'm bad at like beginnings and endings.
I think most of us are. Like, I think that's like the podcast like standard is just like get the awkwardness out of the way at first, and then like just start with the good stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's pretty much everyone. So I don't get to have that story maybe. Or I shouldn't. I don't want to leave a place and it's difficult and whatever, but I gotta cut it off and
yeah.
That's all good though.
Do you ever just leave? I sometimes just leave.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
If I could, that's ideal.
Yeah.
If the world, I mean, if I knew that everyone was okay with that all the time.
Yeah.
I do just want to leave without saying goodbye to anyone.
Leave. Yeah.
Because you're gonna see me again. Or it's like, shouldn't that be kind of a pretext for it or something?
Yeah.
It's like you'll see me again, so, or it's kind of like, yeah.
Just
so
assume
what?
I'm not harmed.
It's like, you think that this was the last of it?
you think you've gotten rid of me? Like you think?
Yeah.
No,
So you can leave just knowing, and then also communicating to everyone else, like, yeah, I'll be back or whatever.
I mean, if you like
saying goodbye is weakness. You know,
yeah, you just need to leave like a call.
You're
sign.
telling everybody else like, oh, what if I don't come back? Maybe a little bit, with like with a goodbye or whatever.
Yeah, like I might not. That's like you're saying with your hug, I may not return. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this may be the last time you see me. I may die. So here, take this.
Yeah, it's
this
dramatic.
It is. It's very self-important to say goodbye to someone. Like,
yeah,
I'm leaving. I'm just, no matter what else you guys were doing, I'm no longer gonna be here. So
yeah,
start being sad about it right now. But that's, yeah.
I know. I guess you don't need to do it.
It's selfish, honestly, to say goodbye.
Yeah,
probably.
Some people are like good at it. It seems like some people are like, they'll say goodbye to everybody and be really congenial about it.
Yeah,
but I envy those people. But maybe I shouldn't. But I do wish that I could give everyone like a really hearty goodbye.
Yeah.
Whenever. Whereas like really, I maybe just want to be somebody's bro or something, like everyone's bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish I could give a great goodbye to everyone all the time, but maybe I'm not that person. Maybe I never was.
See, I think that
but maybe it's just because it's too dramatic for it to say goodbyes.
It is very self-important, you know.
Yeah, like intros and ending, like it's a play. Like,
do you ever
introduction?
Do you do that? Do you introduce yourself to people? Are you like, "Hi, I'm Matt"?
Basically, no, I don't.
Right? Like,
yeah,
I've noticed that people don't do like most of the time. Like when your roommate came in and you like introduced himself, like that rarely happens to me. Where they're like, "Hi, I'm like so and so."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like rarely, like
it's falling out of favor. It's like not as current.
Yeah, like I'll talk to like if me and you go somewhere and you know the person that we encounter.
By the way, yeah,
most people won't like introduce. They'll just talk to the person they know and just like wait until the interaction's over.
I guess it's kind of like the cooler way of going about it. I would say, to be like, okay, well now we're all here, right? And you know, there's like we didn't need the introduction, whatever. I don't, I don't often introduce my guests, or I don't really want to, because I found that it doesn't work for me mostly. Yeah, like in the podcast.
I know what you mean. Like coming up with like a preamble, like this is who I've got on the show. Like
I see Joe Rogan doesn't do that, and then I'm like.
If Joe Rogan doesn't do it, like, you don't have to.
He doesn't say, here, he's my guest.
Yeah.
And I feel like he is right about that.
Yeah. I don't know that I would be of the caliber of person that requires introduction. Like, I'm just a dude, you know? You know what I mean? Like,
as far as I know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like my friend.
Yeah. We are friends, Matt. You like that?
Yeah,
that's the case.
We are friends.
Yeah, we are dear friends.
We're the closest.
Yeah, Absolutely.
We can't stop texting each other.
That's what I was gonna text that to you earlier. That
I already did. I texted you that, but you just didn't. I guess you didn't read it yet.
Yeah, honestly,
I'm texting you so much that it's like, how can you keep up?
Yeah, you know what it is? It's because I didn't want to be rude and check my phone while I'm talking to you right now. It's probably those are the texts.
Right. Yeah. It's just the overwhelming respect that you have.
That's what it is, Matt.
Yeah.
That's you know what it is? Like when you're not around, that is what we do say when people bring up like Matt Connor. Everyone goes, "Oh, the respect we have for that guy." Mm-hmm. Like and it gets real solemn, you know.
Oh yeah.
Nobody does any jokes for a while.
You guys kind of like solidarity as a group, and you're like, let's think about that. Let's meditate.
Yep.
On
Just
Matt.
think about Matt. Yep.
Yep.
That's yeah. You would be surprised. It's reverence is really.
I'm not surprised. That's what I thought was happening. Is that everyone revered me as a holy man.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Honestly, I thought.
That's what I like about myself, anyway.
Is that you come off holy?
Is that I'm a holy man? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That you do have a very.
I walk around like I'm the exorcist, you know.
Yeah.
Or more like that I am the exorcist is what I would. That's what I'm aiming at.
You do have like a I know what to do with demon infestation vibe. Like I mean I have a lot of
I hope
skills,
that I would.
but if you're
I hope that in that situation that I would be prepared enough, you know.
Yeah. I think especially, you know, like you were raised religiously, right? Like so you would have did they train you how to
Well, I think it's kind of like in the movie The Exorcist, they emphasize that the Catholic priests are like have religious authority in comparison to like common people or like children of divorce, which is like what the kid is.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Which is what the kid that gets possessed is.
Because his parents got divorced. Right. That's the
sinner. Yeah.
That's the reason that he gets like
her parents got divorced, so she's an evil sinner. That's why she got possessed.
Seriously?
I don't know. It's part of it.
She got possessed.
It's part of it because they wrote that into the script, like for her character.
That is
it's like she's like her single mom or whatever is allowing her to play with a Ouija board because this is like a secular family.
You know what? I have a divorce bit that I want to try later on today that might actually work its way into. I had no idea that was the plot of The Exorcist. It's
just like a way that they're contrasting the Christian and secular world.
Yeah. No, that's. Do you believe people can be like haunted, possessed? Are you a ghost?
I guess I don't really know what's going on with a possession. I believe in demons, but I don't know what the hell about like somebody got possessed. I think that maybe they had a low IQ to begin with.
Yeah.
If they got possessed.
So you think like it's like you can get possessed, but you gotta be kind of dumb to to get outsmarted by a demon. You gotta be kind of stupid.
I guess I think that you couldn't have right.
You know,
You couldn't have like a mind that has all these standards and like boundaries, a way of going about things. Like if you're an adult that is like at least sort of well adjusted, I don't think you're gonna get possessed by a demon.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. But,
I wonder. You know what? That would be actually kind of comforting to find out that like a lot of what I don't like about the world is just the work of demons. Like it'd be, it'd be kind of scary, but also like, satisfying. Like, oh, it's demons. Okay.
Yeah, it's a way that you can simplify it to one thing.
Yeah.
You're like, see, it's just this one problem. If you make it about demons.
Yeah, like if it weren't.
I think there are things like demons, but it's just kind of a stigma that like demons are really evil. I think that you can listen to whatever's going on in your head, and that might tell you negative things.
Yeah.
Voices in your head that tell you negative things, which I think a lot of people have.
Yeah.
It's almost universal, maybe.
Yeah. I
think that those are sort of like demons. Whatever is telling you to do something shitty.
Yeah, like that option in your head to do something shitty is the demon. Like it's and you're like I think as a member of humanity, you're part demon. Like there's a voice in everybody's head that's like you should do this thing that would be morally unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, yeah, everyone's got access to it. But, you know, would you not be weirded out by somebody who had nothing like that in their head at all? Like, who never had, like, whoever had bad ideas. Like, they just always only had...
That would be
like,
pretty weird.
Right? Like...
Somebody who only had good...
Yeah, just all the time good intentions.
I know.
Like...
But that's the way that a lot of people go or walk... They walk around like that. Like, all that they have are good intentions. But that's, like, what's expected of us or something.
Yeah, well,
Societally.
Yeah, it is, right?
You better have good intentions.
But it's also suspicious, like, if you like, portray yourself to only have good intentions, right? We had this recent issue in comedy. Like, I mean, I shouldn't say recent. It's like an ongoing issue where a female member of the comedy scene was getting accosted by just a guy on the scene. Yeah, it was a stalker, but I don't think he was a comic. I think he was just on the scene somehow. But like, the expectation that he has good intentions, like, that was how he was presenting himself to a lot of different people. Was, you know, I only have good intentions.
Yeah.
You know, so like, but that also sort of set off, I think, some alarm bells for some people. Like, somebody who, like, is so vocal about how good their intentions are. You know, it makes them suspicious.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's that sort of, like, incessant virtue signaling is kind of like...
Yes, somebody who's really nice is maybe somebody that you should be suspicious of.
Yeah.
If they're, like, nice all the time, they never show their mean side.
Like, ever?
Yeah.
Yeah, like this... I mean, don't get me wrong. I know people present themselves a certain way in public, you know, so, yeah.
Yeah, well, you gotta be different in public than in private, right?
Yeah, I think isn't that the polite thing to do?
Like, yeah, that's the polite thing to do.
Isn't that like...
That's the societal thing to do, and it's, like, the right thing to do.
Yeah. Like, don't fucking be yourself.
You can be wrong when you're at home.
Yeah.
But it's right. Public is for being right.
Yeah. Yeah. Only do vetted, like, tested things when you're out in public. Like, when you're at home, yeah, you could like, try stuff. You can, like, work.
Yeah, I'd never thought of that before. That public life is, like, where so you're supposed to be right in front of other people. Because if you're not, they're gonna be like, "No, you're wrong."
Yeah. People can't wait to point that out. Like, when you're in a discussion, like, if you, like, say a word wrong, they're like, actually, like, yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to be right as long as you're around me.
It's rude. Us. It's rude you being wrong around me. Like, how dare you? This is polite society.
Yeah. I think it's just, like, a public thing where people are like,
yeah,
that's how you're supposed to behave in public. Like, they're holding you to rules that other people would have.
It is, like, a weird game of telephone for, like, what we all accepted was an okay way to be around each other, right? Mm-hmm. Because nobody can really point to, like, why you do that, right? Like, okay, I give you an example. Like, we were talking about the introduction thing, right? Like, where, like, not introducing, like, your friend when you meet a new person, right?
Yeah.
Like, I personally think that's rude, but I think I just am too old. And I think I missed when it, like, transitioned to that not being rude.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? So, like...
That's something that I would do most of the time, is do an introduction or...
Yeah.
Because I'm not that, like, Gen Z enough, I guess.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Yeah,
I think that it's almost like... Maybe it's a Gen Z thing, maybe not.
I don't know. I feel like
Well, it seems like a Gen Z thing, even if it's not for people that are younger than us.
Yeah.
You know, like that description of it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I do think there are some people that engage in, like, Gen Z things that are not...
Like, Gen Z doesn't even have to be about that generation.
Yeah, I do think there's, like, Gen Z flavored things that are for people who are not of that, like, age group, you know? So... When you were in high school, were there, like, okay, so, like, there were cell phones, but people just started getting them when I was in high school. Like, I'm an old man.
We just started getting them.
Okay.
when I was in high school. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh well, like all of us at that age started being allowed to get them.
Yeah.
But they kind of did exist for a few years.
Okay. All right. Like, I just wonder.
Like when I was in high school, everybody started to get texting. That's the important thing that I remember.
Yeah. We
started to be able to text, and then everybody cared about their phones at that point.
Yeah. Okay.
So you could text. Yeah.
Yeah.
So really phones really started to become a big thing about the time that I was in 9th grade.
Okay.
At least among my peers.
Yeah. Okay. So I asked that because now, like, if you're like a 45-year-old man, like, and you're on Facebook for like most of your like your social media interactions, you know, they say Facebook's like the outdated mode of like interaction. Like Facebook's for like the boomer generation, like the older millennial generation, right?
It is kind of now, yeah.
Right, but like, is it better if you are a like middle-aged person who predominantly like communicates on TikTok? Like, is that like is that more acceptable? Like, is that like, are you like, do you? I don't know if I want to be like my age and like the way that I interact with the world is mostly TikTok. Like, it's weird. You know?
I think that it's okay to do TikTok it depends on what you like.
Well, yeah, I think it's great to like it. I think you like.
Do you like TikTok? Do you go on it a lot?
I go on it when people send me stuff. But like I don't.
It's pretty entertaining, just regardless of.
I like what I see. I kind of forget that it exists.
You can run into a lot of good music on there. Is why I like it the most.
Really?
I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you can sort of put any song with your TikTok.
Okay. And then that's how you get exposed to new stuff. Like,
there's just this huge song bank of like when you make a TikTok.
Yeah.
That's really a big significant part of TikTok. Why it's valuable is because it's an app that allows you to make this content where you can put whatever song you want along with it. And before, I think you can do that with YouTube now.
Yeah.
But before TikTok, you couldn't do any of that, where it's like, or that easily.
Yeah.
So they just have every song, and you can put that song with your TikTok. And because of that, they put the newest songs, and then you figure out what is the new.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, that's a pretty good model. I like that. You know,
they just have a lot of good songs on there that you can run into.
I got you. Do you have a favorite right now? Like, do you have a favorite like genre that you're just getting into?
Right now, I've been listening to the song "End of the World" by Miley Cyrus.
Okay. All right.
Just because it came out like 2 days ago.
Really?
Yep, and it's one of her best songs, I would say.
You know what's weird? And I absolutely, I'm being totally sincere about this. Every time I hear Miley Cyrus sing, I'm very surprised about how good of a singer she is. Because like I've never listened to Miley Cyrus like on purpose, right?
She's actually an underrated singer just for her voice.
So when I hear her, I'm like, oh shit! Like, she's actually
she's a really good singer.
Like a really good singer. I'm like, wow, that's okay, all right.
And she's underrated for that. Like, people don't bring up just her singing because they're overshadowed by her personality,
which
sorta.
I mean,
they're like, people don't look at that. She sings better than like Britney Spears, you know?
Yeah.
And like a lot of people that we held in really high regard.
Yeah.
She has an actually good voice.
Yeah.
She holds out the notes for a long time and isn't just being gimmicky like Christina Aguilera. I guess is sort of gimmicky just because she does a lot of runs.
Yeah. I mean, well, okay. I was a young man when Christina Aguilera first came out, so I do remember, like, Christina Aguilera was very young. I was a young kid, and she was on, I think it was called Star Search or something. I don't know, like, and like she was like this like tiny kid. And she has a really strong voice at the time. So, like, I remember her being impressive, but you're right, like the way she sings is like a caricature of herself at this point. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, she's doing an impression of herself.
Christina Aguilera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Britney Spears doesn't even try anymore. She don't even sing anymore. But I mean, that was just kind of a gimmicky thing. That era of music, whatever.
That's true.
That with the Backstreet Boys, it had to do with the turning of the millennium. And we're like, look, now it's 2000, big shit's happening.
Yeah,
like,
that's true. We were just like, it's a whole new world. Like this is the sound of the new world.
It was like some of the fakest music ever.
Yeah,
it's like one of the fakest eras of music.
So do you play any instruments or anything?
I play the drums.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
I play like keyboard a little. There's a time where I was like wanted to do a lot of covers of songs. I learned some keyboard.
Yeah. No, same actually. Yeah, I think a lot of comedians did or at least dabbled in music before they started comedy. I know
we've all been trying shit.
Yeah,
like something's gonna work.
Yeah. Everyone has failed on stage before they failed here. Like you work your way up to comedy failure. Yeah, but like I asked because like if somebody would have come to you when you first like got really enthusiastic about music, it was like, I want you to drum for this boy band. You're like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. You're like, I'm not, like, I wouldn't, like, I don't want to be in Maroon 5. Like I don't,
if it was like when Maroon 5 was popular, like if I was in high school, I would have said no, because that would have been my whole understanding of it. It's like, well, boy bands are gay, so I'm not going to take part in that. I wouldn't care about like, oh, you get to work with this really popular band or anything,
That's, I think I probably at the time would have said no, just because I don't
like that'll be really uncool. So
although
whoever will see it be uncool and whatever. I think as I've gotten older, I've cared a little less about being cool, but somehow I do also still care about it or something like that, but not exactly. I don't really know.
Does being cool still mean the same thing? Do you still define cool the same way?
I definitely have thought more about it or been more enlightened about what cool is. Yeah. Because I have more takes on it now than I would have before, just because it's like a word that I think about. Yeah. So I've thought a lot about it and have gotten impressed by it or something. So it's like, I mean, I have a number of interpretations of it, so I've thought about it, and because of that, I've become more intelligent in the area of cool.
So all right, I'm really interested in this. So like, what is your, and I only mean in the context of like your life experience, right? Like, so not like what's cool for everybody, but like for you, what defines someone or some entity as being cool?
I think if you have a girlfriend.
Okay, that's number one. You gotta start with having a girlfriend.
I think if you have a girlfriend, you're cool. Okay. I think that's how the world treats it.
Well, you know what?
That's like the easiest, the most surefire way to be cool. Is if you have a girlfriend. If you get married, that's a little less cool. Yeah. That's something more like cold.
You know what? It is weird because like you.
That's like you go too far and then. Yeah, like cool to cold. You get married.
Yeah, it's a what's it called? Mate poaching, right? So like, for example, there is like something biological to the fact that you only become like you become more attractive to potential mates once you already have a mate. Right, so like, that's what makes you cool. That's what like vets you.
You show it to other people.
Yeah, it's like an acceptable person is like, well, I mean, if this woman wants to spend her time with him, then like he must be worth at least this many social credits. Like,
there's like, have you know that comedian Neil Brennan? Yeah, he had a bit where he was like.
Did somebody? Here.
Yeah, I think someone turned the TV on.
Okay.
He had a bit where he was saying that he was like, because he's not married. Yeah. He said people like somebody who's divorced way more than me, somebody who was never married. Yeah. Because they're like, I guess because they know, like, they were able to be married.
Yeah, someone wanted to marry you. Yeah.
He's like, in comparison to me, a person who's never been married, they would rather have, like, somebody who is a convicted murderer.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
I forget what the joke was. It's like something like that.
I know what you...
Like, I'd rather have a convicted murderer than find out that I wasn't married before. Like, because he's, like, old enough. Or
yeah.
Whatever.
Well, I do think that there is something odd to society about you being single at a certain age, no matter what gender you are, right? Like,
I think that Christianity influences that a lot. Influences people to think that way.
Yeah, but I think it's carried over into our new understanding of, like, norms. Like, for example, I think as a man, people would rather you be gay than alone.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't think that was always the case. Like, I think, like, if somebody hears that you don't
if
have
you're
anybody,
gay,
like, yeah.
If you're gay, then you're more controllable. We can put you in the story or in a narrative because you were like, that's what you are.
Yeah.
You need to have a story.
Yeah, you have a shape that we recognize now. Like, okay.
You need to have a story. Like, you preferably have your story straight rather than gay.
Yeah, but we'll take it if this is, like...
That'll make your story straight if you admit that you're gay.
Yeah. No, that's... I don't know why we... Like, why do you think that makes people uncomfortable is when you're uncoupled? Like, why do you think that makes... Like, at a certain age, why do you think that's off-putting to people?
Well, the local news and the media influences people to think that those people are bad because they'll run tons of stories about, like, sex predators or whatever.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. The local news doesn't like single people but,
you know what's weird about that, though? Because, like, when you hear about, like, kid touchers, it's usually, like, a married coach or, like a member of the community that's got, like, a big... You know what I mean? Like, it's not usually, like,
It is a lot of times a married person.
Yeah. Like, it's never a guy who lives in a basement by himself. Like, not usually, you know? Like, it's... I don't know. It seems odd that single people would get the blowback for what married people are doing.
I forget what my reasoning is why I'm like, oh, the local news is against single people. I had this whole spiel at some point in my life or whatever.
I think.
But it's like, I forget exactly the dot I can connect to that at this time. But it's more, why do I think that society doesn't like singles is mostly because, like, religions or something.
Yeah.
Dictates it.
Yeah.
Like in Christianity, they want you to be married, that's the way that conservatives are, and even to the point, like, Elon Musk pushes that, and he'll be like, Christianity is a good religion, and he's all about, like, procreation, and it's kind of like
that's true. Yeah.
There's a stigma about you shouldn't be having kids unless you're married for whatever reason, right? What'd you say?
Yeah. Well, I'd say among like a certain sect of society, yeah. Like but
do you think people care if you have kids and you're not married?
I think it depends, right? Like, I think it depends on why you have kids and you're not married. Like, if you have kids and, like, your partner died, and that's why you're, like, a single parent, like, that's brave and inspiring, and everyone loves you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but, like, if you just didn't want to stay with this person who you had a kid with, like, I think people look at you a little bit weird, you know. But also, like, isn't that don't we look at people weirdly because there's a part of that, like, non-conformity that we envy a little bit? Like, maybe it's me, like, I feel like married people try to like convince me that I should be married.
It's a group mentality or
Yeah.
herd mentality. All the married people want you to be on their side, and they're like, it's kind of like when people say I have a kid, and they're like, everything is so different when you have a kid. Like it's completely and it's just sort of because they went into that world where they're a mom now. They want all the people that they don't know to, everybody that they know.
Yeah.
They want them to be moms too, so they can be on the same side and be in the same group.
Part of the same, yeah.
And it's like you kind of transfer into this different identity group, and when you become a mom or a dad, I feel like is maybe at least part of why people have that feeling.
Yeah, you do. I think you do.
You're like, now I'm sort of separated from all the people I know because I had this profound experience. People want to be in the same group as you, and whether or not you have kids, like married people, that's like a big collective. That's like a strong collective, kind of like a gang or a labor union.
I know what you mean. Yeah, like a fraternity of people who have like children. It's like, okay, this is exclusive.
And they're like, they love their friends that they had that are not yet married, and they're like want them to be married.
Yeah,
so like, they can be a part of
come
that.
Come join us. Come like be a part of our group. Like, but what's odd is you never hear like divorced people trying to convince their married friends to like get divorced. Like it's so much happier. Like over here, like you like you guys need to take the next step.
Divorced people aren't like that.
Yeah, but
I think that it's a similar thing to the comparison between Satanism and Christianity, because Christianity is for the collectivized and Satanism is for the people who are individualized or separated from each other.
See, I don't know that much about Satanism. Like I know like the basics. Like for example, I know like it's not about like stealing babies and stuff. So I've read that, but like I don't know what the goal is for Satanists. Like I know for Christians the goal is to make it to heaven, right? Like that's the ultimate prize, right? But like if you're a Satanist, like what is I don't know what the prize is.
I don't know what the prize is for Satanism either, but I just am a little disappointed in them because
really.
Yeah, because from what I hear, Satanists don't have to say I love Satan or I believe in Satan. They don't even believe in Satan.
They don't believe in Satan.
No, they just kind of believe in secular humanism, or in other words, just humanism.
So, okay.
They just believe in like the war being carnal and like satisfying every want that you have, just being a human.
So hedonism.
But
like
is just, what it is. They don't even have to be like I love Satan. The people who are in the Church of Satan, I mean, that's the way that they are. There are people that are like not in the Church of Satan that make it more about like pentagrams and like just the symbolism of hating everyone and whatever the fuck about blood and like sacrifices or whatever.
But if you hate everyone, like don't they want to have like more Satanists? Like okay, like is it like a Highlander situation where like if you truly hate everyone, like do you think that, like everyone else should be dead, thus I gotta kill all the Satanists so that I'm the only Satanist? Like, or is it like...
I think that Satanists are pretty accepting of each other, or that's my understanding of it, is that they would be like, it's kind of like the 1960s or something.
Yeah.
Like love and understanding for people, because
we're
just out here trying to do what we want, like biologically.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But I think that they're not doing it right. I think that Satan is I don't believe in Satan, but that's just because the evil side of things doesn't have leadership, or shouldn't, because it's disintegrated and it's individualized. God is for leadership. That's the good side of it. And good and God are really close words.
Yeah.
God is the good thing, and what he is a leader for a bunch of people. Evil Satanism doesn't have any leadership. That's because they don't have integrity. They don't have standards.
It does seem like Satan...
They have the opposite of integrity.
Yeah,
so
what would that be?
They are disintegrated. They're disintegrated.
So like... They're
individualized. That's what Satan, that's what evil is.
is just like not being part of the collective.
Yeah, separated.
Is like okay.
Yeah, I forget. Like the example you were using before. Do you remember what it was? Where we were saying like these two people, they weren't on the same side.
Oh, I might be too high.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Like the power through that.
Yeah. Okay. This is the reason I was asking. Is that like it feels like we came up with the concept of Satan like way after the concept of God, right? Like Satan feels like okay, you know how in the during the Cold War, everything just got swept under like communism. Like if you didn't like something, it was just like what it's not communist, but like to get it like eradicated, like it's communist, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of what we did with the devil. Like we sprayed the devil on like all the stuff that we were like, this is deplorable. Yeah. So we were just like, everything that's terrible.
It's like the top word for evil.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. Like we just applied it as like a catch-all word.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really it doesn't really correctly define most, because like I think you're right, like a lot of this I was possessed, the devil made me do it stuff is just like our actual genuine nature that we have to fight against. Like it's just a regular human.
Yeah, and it's not allowed in public life.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's kind of that's a sin. Your regular stuff that you would want to do, and it's a sin because Christians have a lot of influence, or like Protestants have a lot of influence to say that that's the right thing to do, is to not give into your primitivity, like the evolution or whatever that brought us here.
Yeah.
And it's sort of has to do with that those like Protestant Christians are progressive, and they're like, we need to make progress and be better than we were. We need to ignore like what we came from.
Mm.
They think that it's evil to have sex, and I mean like just before marriage,
right?
And be primitive and fight and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I mean,
they think it's evil, and they, for whatever reason, have convinced everybody that that's how we progress into the future, is that we deny those origins. I mean, they haven't convinced everybody that, but that's just like, they kind of influence the world.
But like deny that those are, like that's everyone's starting like firmware. Like you start with like lizard brain.
Right, they deny that part of it because I would say it's because they think that's how we're going to make progress as a human race. And everybody can a lot of people can get on board with the idea of progress. And I just feel like Protestants are naturally progressive because their existence is protesting origins, like when they arose.
Yes.
Yeah, sure, I'll take. Yeah. They were, when they began in protest of their Christian origins.
Yeah.
The Catholic Church or whatever. And yeah.
Do you think that you will notice when God or this version of God becomes out of fashion? Right? Like there was the last guy who worshipped Zeus. You know what I mean? Like the last person who was like, I still like
Zeus.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
seriously, guys, Zeus. No.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't believe everybody fell away, that they're not worshiping
and
Zeus.
Everyone's turned away from Zeus. This is gonna cause calamity. He's gonna drown us. He's gonna lightning bolt us all. Like, because you've stopped.
It really was the last guy.
Yeah. Like, do you think like do you think you would know? I mean, it's not now, but like, do you think you would know if we were heading towards like, all right, it's like this trend is almost the Jesus trend is almost over. Like it's they're going out of style for a while. Like, would we know that?
I think that it would only. Yeah, we would sort of know that if you were in the know enough.
Yeah.
Or you're like, this is the way that things are headed.
Yeah.
If you were a Christian, you wouldn't know it because your version of it being in the know is like following Christ or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever that was following that.
Right.
their version of being in the know is like following the God that they think is best.
Yeah.
And following the techniques of the God that they think is best.
Yeah.
It's like Christians are always following the techniques of the God of Israel, essentially, because that's what they mean when they say God.
Yeah.
God the Father. They're always following his techniques, and that's their greatest technology that they're following. Is like God the Father tells that's the best.
Yeah, like that's the best way to be a human being. Like these are like the
God
best.
is telling us how to do it. He has all the best techniques, and we follow those, and we take the form of what he wants us to take the form of, or whatever. So I mean, if they're stuck in that, like they're like the person who thinks it's Zeus.
Yeah.
Die off, but I do. I think that it'll happen when we, whatever, like allegedly we're about to recode our DNA.
Yeah.
To give ourselves really long-lasting life.
Oh, are we? Who is it? Is Elon doing it?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
For sure, according to me.
Okay.
Me, I say it.
I hope that, I mean, you are the guy I come to for biomedical news.
It was an aggregation of a number of things I saw on the internet, but I am that point of collecting all of that and speaking it back to you.
You are my chat GPT. That makes sense. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And that's what I try to be. But it's like ChatGPT is so good that, of course, I want to compete with that.
I mean, it's only natural to want to best the machines. Like because they mock us. They mock us with their knowledge and their efficiency, and they, like from afar.
But I'll be like, well, I can do that, but also like maybe be creative in a way that you don't. Hopefully, I have some value that a ChatGPT doesn't. Maybe we. We'll have that for a while. But anyway, yes. According to people like Ray Kurzweil, who is kind of like, he's kind of like a cult leader.
Yeah, I don't think I know who that is.
Ray Kurzweil is a futurist, and he is so much a futurist that he's one of the only people that anybody agrees that's a futurist. But like Ray Kurzweil is saying that there's going to be a medical revolution where we recode our DNA so that like parents can pick and choose what they want their kid to be.
Yeah.
Like DNA, because we can specify within DNA, and apparently the DNA is currently coded for us to die early or something like that.
Really? Like on purpose it's coded that way, or like just naturally that's what it's like?
Something like that. It's like faulty enough that...
Really? So it can be recoded so that you live longer.
It's faulty enough it's got some flaws that they can reorganize or whatever. They can screw with it and make it like, oh, now we're going to live really long lives or whatever. And allegedly we can keep perfecting that process.
Really?
Until we have figured out how to make ourselves live for a really long time or whatever. And he's like, that's what'll happen. There'll be a medical revolution with DNA. Yeah. And he's also saying we're going to be able to cure all of these diseases, like cancer, that kill us, because it has to do with reorganizing our anatomy. And like he's like, doctors are figuring this shit, or whoever it is, scientists are figuring this shit out.
Like how to reorganize our anatomy. Okay.
Yeah, and he said that before the 2020s happened.
Really?
But I don't really see that much evidence. I don't see that much evidence that that's really happening for sure. And he's like, there'll be the AI robot revolution will happen in the 2030s or whatever.
Well, I mean, I think he
maybe he's just bullshitting. You know? He's a futurist.
See, you know what's wild is like, weren't the original futurists like huge Mussolini supporters? Like, weren't the original futurists like an Italian movement where they were very pro like technology and industrialization, but they were like, and that's why Mussolini should be in charge. Like I remember them like being like unwelcome in a lot of circles at a certain point. Like I don't know. I'm always very like very wary of like somebody who predicts like what's gonna happen further than like a couple of months from now. You know, like it just
Ray Kurzweil said some shit in the past that people are like, oh, you were right. And so now we're like,
you're right once.
He's a futurist.
Yeah. Like
he's just kind of like projected all of these sort of general things.
Yeah.
Which I guess you can do is like,
I mean,
be like, this will happen and then this will happen. I don't know. The Future. Do you know about Future, the singer, the musician?
Yes, I have heard he's
I think he's probably, I'd have to say, the greatest artist of my generation.
I think there's an argument for that. I think there is an argument.
I think he is
for Future being like, considering the influence that he has on like all
everywhere.
Music.
He's everywhere.
Like,
he's doing features with like absolutely everybody who is big, and usually doing it at the time.
Yeah.
Besides that, he has his own shit.
Yeah.
I just think that you call yourself Future, and then you're even like mildly able to live up to it. That's pretty good. I think he lives up to it, actually.
Yeah. I think if you were to ask Future to go like hit for hit with like his other contemporaries, like a lot of people would have a hard time keeping up with him, and for like that amount of time, like because you forget how long Future has been around. It's like it's like 15 years almost. Like it's like it's a long time. Like it's because since like what 2010, he's been around. Like
I think
So like I mean to be that popular for that long, and to call it like Babe Ruth call it and be like I'm gonna be the future of music, and then go on to do such. Like that's
he did a lot of work. You know, he put in the work.
I don't know why I would not have pegged you for a Future fan. I don't know why. I'm not a huge Future fan. It's not like I don't like him.
Yeah, well, I'm not a huge Future fan either, I guess.
Yeah.
Where I'm like listening to all of his songs, but it's like I think I just recognize the greatness.
Of yeah. And I guess that's kind of what I'm saying too.
Future album.
See, I'm not even.
Do you know what that one is?
I have no idea, bro.
It's a co-album with Future and Juice WRLD. It's called The World on Drugs.
Is it good? I feel like I'm admitting to the world that I'm 300 years old right now.
No, like, this isn't like that well known of an album.
Oh, okay.
It's
all right.
Pretty well known. Popularly, people know Juice WRLD.
Yeah, I know who Juice WRLD is. Like, but what's wild is like I only hear about like half of the new rappers I only hear about once they die. Mm-hmm. Like. It's that's really weird. Like I don't know what
you know about Young Scooter.
No, who the fuck is that? I feel like you made that name up. Is that a real person?
It's a real guy. Yeah.
Is he alive?
He died.
Oh no.
He died recently.
Oh no. Well, like a drug overdose or what? Like
I don't know. I think he. I wasn't a fan of him. I really didn't hear about him until after he died, but he just died recently. And I listen to his songs now, and he's like pretty good. I like him. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I don't know about them because they're not good. Like I think
Young Scooter, he's all right.
But there's also so much music now that like I don't.
It's
sometimes
endless.
I don't hear about an artist until they're like 4 albums in, and somebody's like, "Oh yeah, they're amazing."
That's the way that it works now. Is like whoever's making the hit song. It's like it takes 4 years to be number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, like in the currently. Yeah, I mean, for a lot of them, just in comparison to the way that it used to work.
Yeah, where like you come out at, but also like I think because of like the number of artists that there are, and because there's like a lot fewer barriers to entry. Like you can just like if you and I could make a song right now and put it on Spotify. Like you know what I mean?
We should.
Like you know what?
What do you play anything?
Actually, I play the guitar.
I play the drums.
Yeah, I fuck around on the keyboard. Like, you know what? That's what I meant. Is like there's a lot of like comics that have like musical acumen that like I feel like just a comedy jam like that would be fucking hilarious. It wouldn't be good. Like musically, it would not be good.
It would be hilarious,
but it would be funny. Like I would love to get everybody together.
Yeah, that would be funny, and especially if we taped it. Why not that?
Right?
Why not videotape it? Like a podcast.
Yes.
comedians. What is it? And we do something musical. Like we
could do like karaoke / covers, and just like just like whoever wants to fucking jump on.
There's something there. I think.
Yeah.
There's a joke there.
There's probably a very hackneyed, like, I'll try something out tonight that probably won't work.
Well, it's just that there's, especially the bridge between comedy and music, nobody's really going after that.
Yeah, that's it. Well,
for one. But just, there's something that you could make come together, especially if you videotaped it.
Yeah.
Because that's always more materializing.
Yeah.
If you videotape something.
That's a good point.
Because that memory is like permanent. It has to do with your willingness to do something permanent is worth more to people. So if you put it on the internet, just that risk, people are like, oh, because what people want to put money in is like security, things that are secure.
Yeah.
That's why McDonald's and Starbucks are like, McDonald's is the best fast food, Starbucks is the best coffee shop.
Yeah.
Is because they have standards. People believe in the popularity and the security of like Starbucks just because so many people corroborate that it's really great.
Yeah, like we were talking about mate poaching.
People put
like
money in security.
Betting. Yeah.
Security is what generates money, really. It's like security comes first.
Yeah.
Something that people trust, that's where they put their money. And I don't remember why that all.
No, you were making a good point. You were cooking, man. I was like, yeah, all right, let's see where this goes.
But anyway, like when you record something.
Yeah.
So I'm just advocating for. You could probably make more money off of it if you recorded it. Whatever thing that we're trying to invent.
Yeah.
With this combination of comedy and music.
Yeah. Yeah.
As long as we're doing something as stupid as that.
Yeah, like, I know I want Def Goldblum.
Record it too, because that'll be even stupider.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think attempting to do it like in any way for it to actually be good would be a horrible idea.
So let's figure out what this thing looks like whatever it is that we're talking about.
Honestly, I would love to do drunk comedian karaoke, but with comedians like playing the instruments, but like
that sounds funny.
But you don't get to pick what you're.
But it's like sing. You're saying you do something funny and then you sing a song at the end.
Yeah,
or half of it.
Yeah, if you do.
Or you sing a song and do something funny afterward is another way.
I think if you do a bit that doesn't land, then you have to sing. If you could either do a bit or sing a song, but if the first bit does not hit, you gotta sing now.
Yes, make the music required.
Yeah.
Especially make the music required so that when your comedy isn't working, you fall back on music or something.
Yeah.
Those are the rules of the scenario that we're setting up.
Yeah, at some point you're going to have to do it.
Yeah, and even if you do well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, even if you're hilarious, you still got to fucking sing a song. Yeah. That'd be hilarious. Let's cut and print, man.
Or it's just like comedians doing karaoke where we set it up under that guise.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it was that, they would have to do. I think it sounds like a good idea combining the song and comedy.
Yeah. It would. If you get a laugh though, do you get to do another? You keep doing bits until you don't get a laugh, and then you have to do you have to do a song. That could be kind of fun. I don't know.
Regardless, we set it up and we record it.
Yeah.
There's so many podcasts you can do, as long as you say it's fine that we're recording all of this.
That's a good point.
What I want to do is a show where it's just comedians go up and they do a half hour of something.
Yeah.
It could be their material.
Yeah.
Or whatever, but it's also a podcast.
Okay.
That's sort of what I want to do. Or it's just a half hour. And I have a different person every week.
Okay.
And they just do a half hour of entertainment.
Yeah. And they just do... Okay. But
Do you
that's
think that
the
works?
podcast, though.
That's it's a podcast.
That's the pod. It's just half an hour.
It's like
on
this
whatever.
person. It's like this person is hosting it this week, and then
Yeah.
it's just a half hour of that person doing whatever.
That could be kind of cool.
You could improvise. Yeah.
If you
My
get
only
directed,
thing worry is that I don't have that much experience. I don't know if that's something I really should be worried about.
Yeah, I produced my very first show like a couple weeks ago, so I have no like experience whatsoever aside from the
You
once.
did produce one though.
Yeah, just the.
So, but now you're a
just the one.
producer.
That's true.
That's the thing about authority is like if you do it once, you can kind of just be like, yeah, I am that.
So I could add producer to my.
You can
titles,
though, but you can because you did it like if you did it legitimately one time.
Then I'm a doer of that thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like if you kiss a dude one time, like you're gay
Yes.
now. Like that's.
Sometimes there are some things that they stigmatize it more, where they're like, that's how we can identify you, for sure, because you did it once. And I feel like that's influenced by Christianity.
Yeah. Okay.
I tend to think that Christianity just influences the regular world
Yeah.
more than people think.
Yeah, I think.
But Christianity is all about, I mean, if they are attacking gay people or whatever,
Yeah.
because those are their enemy, because gays are sort of like a parody of Christians.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
I mean, like a lifelong commitment to an identity.
Okay.
If you're gay, you're like saying that that's what I am all of my life, unless you like deny it later. Christians do that same thing where they're like, I'm Christian forever.
Yeah.
It's simplifying yourself to a single identity is why they are the same. But gays aren't as good as Christians because there aren't as many of them.
Yeah, you know what they need? They need a book. If they had a book,
Yeah.
like if you could convert to being gay, like if there was a place that you could go and like you take the classes and stuff, and like you could be like stamped. I think they'd have a lot more. Like I think the numbers would like really like if there was like a gay temple.
Yep, if there were standards, if there were more standards like the standard book and the standard set of rules for being gay.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about gay is that it doesn't go in that direction of having a bunch of rules and standards because they kind of are against the system in that way. They're like, we're going to do things different. We're going to be gay. We're going to go outside of all of that. And it's similar to evil versus good, where evil is disintegrated.
Yeah.
Gay is like that, where they're like, we're gonna go just beyond, like, whatever, no rules, we can wear whatever we want. Fuck it, fuck all of you for the like have.
See, I think that's what society forces any counterculture to be, right? Like if you look at like any popular musical genre when it first showed up, the concept of it was like the concept of it was this is against society, and now it's normal. Like now it's so ingrained in American society, like jazz and hip hop and rock, like all these things that at the time when they first showed up, the majority of America, or the majority of society, was like, this is going to be the downfall of like everything that's happening, right? And I think like when you make a community evolve in the shadows, that becomes part of the identity, is like to be anti whatever the system is, right? Because those are the bones of your community, because they had to be, right? Because you had to develop where you would not be ostracized, or where you would not be persecuted.
Yep. They had to make their identity in the shadows, in a place where they were castigated by the rest of society.
Yeah,
and so they learned to be ostracized. They learned to be a group that was not accepted by the popular group as they like formed themselves.
Yeah, I think you'll find that with a lot of groups in America. I think that's been the history of people in America, is being like, all right, I'm a part of this group that right now everybody hates. eventually this will be integrated into American society. Like there was a point where like if you were Italian, like you just could not get a job at all. You know what I mean? Like there was a you know what I mean? Like there was a point where like
it was tough for Italians.
Right. There was a point, right? But now, like if you are an Italian,
now we're all like, hey,
like it's fine. Like nobody doesn't want you to marry somebody. Like it, for the most part, you won't hear.
Yeah, it's like we kind of became Italian.
I mean, it definitely became part of American culture.
Yeah,
it's like
for sure.
Yeah, it definitely became
Where we're like, okay, yeah. Italian, yeah, we accepted it at some point.
Yeah,
because we probably had no other option because they were just like made their way into our way of life so much.
And I think that's probably the way that we're going to look at the LGBTQ community at this point.
Yeah, I guess we probably should.
I don't think there's going to be
there's too many like
choice.
Homophobic people like me. That are like the gays are like this over here, or whatever.
No, you know what though is what I love about one of the few things that I can say I love about America is that you can't dictate what we're gonna be like. Like
yeah.
You know
I like that about
like,
America.
Like you can try to say like, these are the rules, and you can try to say like this isn't allowed.
Yeah.
But it will, like, the ideals of America will grow like weeds like around it. You know what I mean? Like if you say these are the boundaries, like the things that we'll accept will sort of like grow over the boundaries. Right? Like, we spent a really long time saying like there is no interracial marriage. Now most of the kids that I know look Brazilian. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like
we sort of figure it out.
Yeah.
We're like, that rule is dumb.
Yeah.
And it's because, like, the society is free enough that we're like, we allow the best ideas to flourish or whatever.
Even if you try to stamp them out, like, you know what I mean? It's very difficult to completely eradicate them. You know, I don't know. I'm interested to see, once we're all living to be like 250, like what's his name? Who's
Ray Kurzweil.
Yeah, once Ray and the boys figure it out,
Yeah.
Like,
America makes it all good for whatever. They do, like, they're just kind of so free that they find the best ideas a lot of the time. Or whatever it is.
When you say they, I feel like you're secretly.
I was just like, there was a point I had before, but now I can't think of it. But,
like you say they, like you're not an American, and that concerns. Like, are you a plant?
I like to think that I am. No.
Are you secretly
America? It's just that, like, Americans, you have to take that perspective sometimes.
Yeah.
To think of like Americans and then the way that is in comparison to the rest of the world. America originates pop culture sort of for the world.
Yeah.
And so we kind of like lead in that way, and other people are waiting for us. Waiting to see what we do and whatever.
But we only produce it, I think, because of our contradictions, right? Like all the pop culture that we export is as a result of the contradictions in this country, right? So it gets made as a result of the circumstances here. So like we were talking about, jazz and hip hop and rock, and like the way that Americans dress and the movies that America makes, right? Like this is as a result of the insanity that is America, right? Like we made action movies because Americans are insane, to the point that we glorified violence to, like, for decades we were like, yes, I think we want to see the most if people shoot each other on screen, to the point where we convinced the rest of the world that it was cool. Like we do that. Like we'll take a part of our insanity or a part of our, like, our strangeness, and then just like turn it into something awesome, export it, and the world just
Well, it's like America criticizes itself more than other countries, I think, is an important part of it. And they're really the leader in comedy for the whole world.
Yeah.
Britain is like second.
Yeah.
But I would say that they are like obviously second. But a lot of countries don't even go after comedy, really. And it must and it's just some like early. I mean, stand-up comedy is probably a newer invention. Just in terms of like all of history, like the specific way that it plays out now. And America leads in that. America leads in comedy content that's produced for the rest of the world. And I think the rest of the world doesn't produce that much comedy. So it's like almost to the point that the world is probably confused about what we're saying is really funny. But I think that they will get the joke eventually. Like, I think the rest of the world isn't that funny. But America, I feel like part of the reason why they lead the way is their ability to criticize themselves, and like SNL, stuff like that. SNL will criticize everything about America.
Yeah. Well, we have the freedom to be funny. I don't mean like the political freedom to be funny. I mean like,
you're right.
Like we have the bandwidth, like the free time to be funny, right? Like we have like you have the opportunity to be like, I'm gonna be a comedian professionally. Where there are probably a lot of countries where even if you are hilarious, that's not a real way to feed yourself. Yep. Even if you are the funniest person that's ever walked the earth, like there's not really a place.
It's more airy over here. There's a lot of like spare time for us to like. Now we're all just trying to make each other laugh or something. Yeah, like because things have gotten that dumb or whatever. Like we have enough money and spare time. Yeah. Like a lot of people over here are just trying to find entertainment. Like they have enough time to do that.
Yeah. Things are going well enough.
So the people who create the content are just outdoing each other to do something funnier and like stupider.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I don't know. Yes, I wonder what the direction of funniness and comedy is. What's the new wave of comedy? Is there some new transcendent form? There's got to be some new thing, because the same as I bet that stand-up probably has a long enough life that it'll be popular a century from now.
Well, yeah.
And what will happen over that century?
I think stand-up has been around since like vaudeville, if I remember correctly. I've read a number of comedy books that are all melding together now, but like I think like we've had a version of stand-up for at least 100 years now, and I feel like we'll continue to have it, just probably in a different format. Like if you look at Lenny Bruce now, or if you look at George Burns, like if you tried to do that act now, you might not get that far, right? Like that version of stand-up comedy, that Johnny Carson version of stand-up comedy might not, so
it kind of goes away sort of fast. Like you see how comedy from the 70s doesn't hold up today.
Yeah. There's even stuff from
it's a pop form of entertainment. Like it pops at the time.
Yeah, it
goes away.
Definitely one of those things where you have to, like, part of your job as a comedian is to, at least I think, is to speak to, like, not just the issues, but like the mindset of the day. Like, what people are all experiencing, even if it's just psychologically, like what we're all experiencing at the time. I think that changes, and that's what changes the funniness of it, right? It's like people don't, like, we don't have the same sensibilities that we had in the 70s, so these jokes aren't as funny because that's like we don't have that like psychological structure to bounce it off of.
Especially in the 70s, I think that things were more innocent.
Yeah.
Even in the 2000 to 2010, I'm like, that was an innocent time in comparison to what it is now, I think.
You mean comedy in general? Like,
no, just in life.
I mean, I think it might be an age thing, right? Like, I think if you were your age now in the 70s, you probably would think it was pretty, like, unsafe, right? Because at the time, we're having the Iran hostage crisis, like, the Cold War's going, you know what I mean? Like, I think at the time, people were probably like,
I think I see your point, where it's like, actually the 70s feel more unsafe than the 20s to 2010.
Yeah. Like,
shit was going on in the 70s, and
Yeah.
people found out about serial killers for like big time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a lot was like, but I also feel like it's sort of like you love the music that you came of age listening to. I think it's also the way you feel about like time periods and their importance, like how old you were when these things were going on changes how you feel about the importance of it. Like kids who were born after 9/11, it will never be as important to them psychologically as it was for people who were alive when 9/11 happened. No matter how many times they hear about it, no matter how much they learn about it.
It's like us thinking about Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like we know
like,
about it.
Wow.
But like it doesn't. Yeah.
Especially since Pearl Harbor, like World War II ended and we won.
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know.
It's like it worked out eventually. So like, who gives a shit now?
Yeah, like we won. It's fine. We're all friends again. You know, just acknowledge that we beat you.
Pearl Harbor, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, are you going to Bourbon?
I am, but I didn't say to sign up.
Yeah, you might want to.
I gotta do it. I gotta sign up.
Yeah.
We're ready to end if you want.
That's cool. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.